Where is the friend when I need him the most? Climb to the top where I try to get close. Counting the seconds, then I look up to you. In both hands a drink while I wait for the cue. Who needs a girl if you a boy on the run? No person of interest, no belt without gun. Shaking the fist to the man in the box. You wanted to scare him, you should have turned the clocks. Stones are cold, but the lighter keeps clicking. The socks have holes in a probable cause. A book with no cover, a run down the street. One turn for the mad man. One turn for the mad man. Stones are cold, but the lighter keeps clicking. The socks have holes and a probable cause. A book with no cover, a run down the street. One turn for the mad man. One turn for the mad man. One turn for the madman. One turn for the madman. Until I press pause.
Welcome. We are back. Another day in the market, a green day for the market. But started off as a very red day, so we're going to break down the coverage. Or I'm going to give you the coverage from today's price action, why the stock market is at a huge make or break level. This is like the most important test for the stock market in a while. Been a lot of consolidation lately. I'm going to get to that in 5-10 minutes. And Bitcoin is testing a breakout. There's a new Mara swing. Fisker is breaking out of some structure we're going to talk about. And yeah, a lot going on. Let's get started with Bitcoin. I redrew my supply line a little bit, and as of right now, it was down quite a bit earlier, but a huge intraday rally of about 7% for Bitcoin to now be retesting the breakout. This is the fifth or the sixth time that it's tested this exact supply line, and it's doing it after holding this 28k consolidation historical level for like a month. All right, so for 1 month, the bears have failed. Apart from this one scam wick over here, bears have just failed miserably to get Bitcoin under that key support. And if the bulls can get this breakout over here, I mean, you could see a very quick move. I'm sure a lot of other people are watching this. Moving over to Ethereum, it's still holding the critical 1708 level of support that you can see over here. And yeah, you're looking at both of those charts. Actually alerted some or a new swing on RIOT today, which we're going to talk about when we talk about the swings later in the stream. That could also easily be affected, whether good or bad, by Bitcoin. And then we finally have the DOGE crypto swing, which is down about 8%. Not really doing much. It's been just kind of going sideways for about a month, just like Bitcoin. So hopefully you can just make this low around the support area and then start reversing. So that's it for crypto tonight. Very interesting formation for the first time in a few days. Moving on to some other markets, crude oil futures heading higher after breaking out. That's really about it. Your next resistance is 130-ish. The XLE Energy Select Sector Fund is making new highs after consolidating for a few days. This actually was up 3% today, with the stock market also being up, which is pretty interesting because we've seen a lot of days in the past couple of months where you're getting an inverse relationship between the two of these, or this and the S&P. And that triple classic bearish divergence is just heavily underperformed. And this is why it could be a lot tougher to use bearish signals in very, very bullish trends, such as the trend that the XLE is seeing. Who knows, maybe this eventually turns into like quadruple classic bullish divergence, but it's not there yet. So we have to wait for more data on that. Moving over to the US 10-year. It's pulled back for the first time in a few days. If we go back over to the daily, nothing too crazy. Just looks like your first pullback day in about a week or so. I like how it's trying to hold this level. It's a very key level, and we were actually talking about this very recently. The potential of this being like a head and shoulders if it were to have topped out over here. It's trying to invalidate that by making a high above these highs in April. So if it can do that, your next resistance is this previous high around 3.2 on the US 10-year. Moving over to metals, gold just continuing to test the 200-day moving average with a little bit of hidden bearish divergence developing, and silver continuing to test this multi-year support level. Well, it's really only been like 3/4 of a year or something, but it's testing that level and it's still got that hidden bearish divergence. So they're just testing critical levels, but they do have some bearish divergences. The dollar currency it made a move higher intraday after back testing the wedge breakout. You've got the hidden bullish divergence on the dollar. It could make this move up to 103 if these levels hold over here at 101. And then finally, the Hang Seng Index down a little bit today, just an inside day after rallying after that breakout a couple weeks back. So those are other markets. Now let's talk about the actual US stock market and why you are testing a huge level, why you decided to use all caps in the stream. All right. You're at the level of all levels. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. First, we have this supply line, right? You're testing that supply line of this wedge, and you would only have 4 touches. If you break out over here, that would only be 4 touches on your wedge. 1, 2, 3, 4 before breakout. Typically, you want a 5th touch, which would be down in this level. And this is what we were talking about coming into the week, where if you do reject this area, you could see a sell-off to retest your lows in May. It's very, very easily doable, especially on declining volume, which is something you've been seeing. So you're seeing heavy resistance because you have this supply line, you have declining volume. You're also, I believe, at the upper Bollinger Band or near the upper Bollinger Band, which is this black line. And then on lower time frames, of course, we have this range that the S&P 500 has been in. I think it's on my 30-minute chart. And you're right at the top of the range, right? The S&P has literally chopped sideways since May 27th for over a week now. After breaking out of this little double bottom neckline, you've just continued to go sideways. Bulls have not been able to get this above 417 and hold that. Bears have not been able to get this below 407 and hold that. So we've been in this 10.407 to 417 range for over a week now, and you are testing the top again. And honestly, I do not think we're going to be in this for much longer. I know a lot of people are thinking, all right, everybody's just looking to CPI numbers on Friday. We still have Wednesday and Thursday. I would be very, very surprised if we did not break this in one direction within the next 2 days. I think this is actually going to break to either direction before CPI numbers, which could set up a very interesting move for a technical play, not necessarily a catalyst play, which would be more of like the CPI stuff. But yeah, I mean, all you have to do tomorrow morning, and futures are a little bit red, but literally like 1/4% higher, and you're already testing a breakout of this range you've been testing. Now, the thing is, you have rejected it like 5 times already. But if you can't break out tomorrow morning and you get back down over here, at that point, I really think you're going to be breaking down. I just don't see a scenario where you fail to break out here, you sell off over here, and then you somehow hold support again. I think it's either you break this tomorrow or you reject it and then you end up breaking this maybe the day after on Thursday. But I do think that this is getting towards the end of its cycle. I just don't see more consolidation for 3 more days. It's just too much in my opinion. I could be wrong, you never know. Volume is pretty low right now, but especially when you had a day like today where you gapped it down like I think almost 1% and then you closed up 1%, you're starting to see that spread kind of come back into the market, and it does set you up for a very, very interesting day tomorrow for the S&P 500. You can just look at this range on the daily and it's kind of like symmetrical too. You have like this large green candle, 2 inside red candles, so you're just looking at the candle bodies, then another large green red candle, then 2 inside red candles. You see like that, like the symmetry within this? I mean, if somehow you get like these 2 red candles again until you get CPI, that would just be crazy to me. I mean, if this happened one more time, I don't know, it would just be insane. I just don't see it happening further. It's just too much of sideways in my opinion. I think one side's going to break very shortly, and that's why I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this level, which I've already been talking about all week. So you open up and you get up 1/3 of a percent, 1/4 of a percent. That could set you up for a very interesting move. There's not much resistance until 425 if the S&P can break and hold above 417. Moving on to the QQQ. We were talking about those bear flag looking structures, and this is what would be, I was just talking about for the bull case scenario, you get above 417 in this supply line, but let's say you can't. In the bear case scenario for the QQQ and the SPY, is you've already broken down from your bear flag on the QQQ, and today could have been regarded as a back test of that, right? So it's like a potential downside break hook, and then if we sell off further, a potential break hook and go. And again, that's going to be very easy to tell with confirmation because you'd also be rejecting towards the top of the range. Same thing for the S&P. If we just draw a bear flag over here, you can see it's also testing at the same time. Like I've just never, I don't know if never, but I can't remember the last time I've seen so many structures line up at the same exact point. And if we have low volume tomorrow, it might be tough to get a confirmation date tomorrow. But within the next 2 to 3 days, you should get confirmation of where the market could be heading for the next few weeks. You break this, and I think you're at least seeing 425. Like if you break this to the upside, you break under 407, and I think you retest your bear market May lows. That's really what I think it comes down to, and you're at the level where you're looking for confirmation. You don't have any confirmation yet. I'll let you know when we get it, which will probably be at least a day or definitely 2 days minimum. But the first initial move can still happen tomorrow. You might not get confirmation tomorrow. That's going to take some time. But you might get the move above 417 tomorrow. You might get the move under 407 tomorrow if you gap down or something. Who knows? So that's really where you're at for the SPY, and then kind of like the same thing for the QQQ. The levels, I brought it up the other night. It's like almost 314-ish for the upside, and then around 303 on the downside. And if this does end up breaking down, you do still have this gap fill at around 300.83 on the QQQ. So it's just a very critical level being tested across the market. You also have the Russell 2000, which very, very interesting. Got above that 188 level we were looking at from these 2 lows over here, and a bullish engulfing candle today. So remember we had this day last week when I was saying, all right, you're barely even above it, like you want to see more confirmation, and then we were not able to close above it for like the next 2 days. Well, today you're pretty well above that 188 level. You're currently sitting almost 2% higher than that level with a bullish engulfing candle. The one thing you don't have, however, is volume. You really made that move on pretty low volume, but good day for small caps nonetheless, and it's potentially even breaking this rising wedge to the upside. And you've got this gap fill around 193 as well for the Russell 2000. So I'd say like 193 is your next resistance, then maybe some around 196, 197, and then all the way up over here. But it's testing the breakout. If you hold above this again tomorrow, I'd say that's a confirmed breakout, at least from a horizontal level standpoint. You're still in this larger term downsloping channel. Who knows? Maybe this lets you run back up to the supply line, and then we maybe get a rejection or a breakout there. But we got to get there first before we talk about it. Then the Nasdaq, it's still retesting this critical zone as resistance, right? It was a high over here, high here, and support here. Now it's resistance. But you did break out of that wedge. So again, your break here. Break this to the upside, you could head up to almost 13K. Can't hold this, and you've got this gap fill around 11.8K, and then even more so the lows from May. The ARKK ETF, bullish engulfing candle today, but still relatively going sideways. You've already seen a bullish engulfing in this range. Kind of same thing for the S&P. you saw a bullish engulfing over here, but it didn't set you up for a breakout the next day. So I wouldn't even care about bullish or bearish engulfing candles when you're just going sideways in the market. I just care about which way you break to first, all right? But it's kind of like a ladder of consolidation. Like you had this little 2-day consolidation, gapped up, you had this little consolidation, you gapped down, you had another 2-day consolidation. This was like your only like 3-day consecutive streak of doing one trend, which was up. But apart from those 3 days, it's just been like this constant, just like staircase being created for the ARKK, which again could be perceived as bullish or bearish. On one hand, you're not just getting dead cat bounces and immediately bouncing and then selling off again. On the other hand, you could kind of draw all of this into one bear flag. So there's just so many different ways to look at the market right now, which in general makes it such a big make or break area. It's not easy to be fully on one side from a technical standpoint until you get some more confirmation, which is why you really want to be charting a lot the next couple of days, all right? So that's the overall market. Futures are down about 0.25%, nothing too crazy. There is a new swing alert from the Discord today. It was up nicely after hours with Bitcoin running, and that is RIOT. So let's start off with the swings. So why did I alert RIOT as a swing trade today? Of course, not financial advice, but you got a bullish pin bar off this domain line of this white wedge. And this is all taking place after breaking out of this green channel. And also the 614 level that is currently closing just above and holding somewhat as support. You haven't closed one day under it. It's a very historic level. You can see it from all of these green circles over here. All right, so it's at a historical level. You've got a wedge, a channel, you've got RSI classic bullish divergence, and of course Bitcoin, like we talked about earlier, is testing the breakout literally right now. Like as we speak, Bitcoin is testing a breakout. Of course, you have to wait another pretty much day until that candle closes, but it's testing it. So that's the new swing, RIOT. It's up a little bit. I think after hours it went up even more. We'll see how it does tomorrow. CLOV up about 1% today. Bullish hammer candle today off the same low from June 2nd. Pretty nice. Hopefully it can just hold 250-ish. And this is the 1 hour pattern I've been showing you all for the past few days on CLOV. So you can see a little bit of a double bottom here. Maybe even like a smaller time frame breakout of that supply line. And it's trying to hold 250-ish. I think that's pretty good. I mean, this is not once, but twice you've held 240 to reclaim 250. This could set you up for a move up to 270-ish at least to retest these highs from last week. Or actually, no, this is the 1 hour, I'm sorry, from literally yesterday. Yeah, I forgot it was up nicely yesterday morning. Gave up the gains and now it's trying again. So we'll see what happens. All you really want to do is hold this and then at some point break above this, all right? Then we have the forward swing. It's testing some resistance over here. Even for shorter term traders, apart from this swing, if this gets above like 14 bucks, let me just set an alert there. That could be a nice little short-term breakout. I don't know about a day trade, but maybe like a 1 or 2 day trade. But in general, for the forward swing, you are retesting the breakout of this down-sloping channel. You've got this bullish engulfing candle today. It's still around the entry of the swing alert. Good. So far, so good. Nothing too crazy. BlackBerry up 4% today. This swing was down a little bit yesterday. Now it's pretty much back up to the entry. I was saying on Sunday night that I want to see this reclaim 591, and it did that successfully today. So hopefully it can hold it tomorrow, but it's probably, for a lot of these, it's just going to depend on what the S&P does in terms of this short-term range it's in, whether it breaks up or down. So you still want to be keeping overall, your overall perspective for the market should be on that, more than a lot of individual names, unless there's like news or something. But that's BlackBerry. Another one with the bullish engulfing today is AMC. Well, you kind of gapped up a little bit, so not much, but it was up 9%. So you've been selling off after AMC hit the first and the second target of the swing, and it's been selling off ever since. And then today was its first like big bounce back day. On the 1 hour, you are retesting this critical blue zone. On Sunday night, we did talk about the triple hidden bullish divergence on the MACD. That's currently playing out. You're curling off of another high. This is kind of like a 3 rising values pattern, which is bullish. It's not confirmed or broken out of yet. But if somehow this can get back above 16, that would be a 3 rising values breakout for AMC. Good start, however. And then AMC's brother, GameStop, was up 14% today. It's pretty much hitting the second target for the second time now, for over a 50% gain. So this is a free alert to all of you in the Discord. The link for that is in the description. GameStop was shared in this Swing Alerts channel not too long ago. on May 17th. All right, so down over here, now it's up over here.
I'd better get you on your way.
That's GameStop. Nice day today. I know Zeke, who's in the chat right now. What's up, Zeke? Was keeping an eye on a big pattern today, and also even back over here as well. So really nice move. It also had this breakout. So just really, really good stuff. Technicals playing out beautifully. And picture perfect stuff there for GameStop. In terms of levels, you've got this resistance at the 200-day around 150, then 160 as your next resistance. In terms of support, I'd say 141 is your closest area of support. That's what I have charted. So that's GameStop. And then finally Zoom. Getting closer and closer to the second target. This is the highest close of the swing trade for Zoom. It is currently up 27% since alerted. There is no resistance until the next target. Hopefully it gets there. So the update. All right, so those are the ongoing swing trades. Also FSR. I'm keeping these visuals on my chart just because I want to, but kind of already hit the first target, but I have to take it off the sheet when it had like that news gap down. Regardless, FSR is bouncing off of this low from May 24th. Nice bounce off the lows today. And of course, it's still in this larger falling wedge. It's still got that high short interest, but on the 1 hour chart, I'm sure a lot of you remember that there was this pattern. Fortunately, that did break down and it's kind of already played out, but a new pattern has been developed, which is this falling wedge. Before it broke out today, or right when it was breaking out today, actually alerted. This is the only option alert today. It's for premium members. FSR call ID is around noon today. I alerted them at 43 cents. It went up to about 60 cents by the close. So it went from $9.17 on stock price. It closed at 9.46 and have a high day at 9.59. So nice 1 hour wedge breakout. Next resistance I see is 9.71, and the support you've shown for now a couple weeks in a row is around $9 on FSR. All right. So there's that. Those are the swings. Let's move on to Tesla now. We were talking about this. You know, you could look at this maybe as a inverse head and shoulders pattern if you want to, but for me, I just focus on the two big levels. Does it break under this level first, 622, dating back to these lows, or does it break above this 794 level first? That's how I look at Tesla. I just set alerts and just wait. I mean, if you're a day trader, you could trade within it, but in terms of like a larger perspective, it's just in a 50-50, literally right in the middle of two major levels area. I don't know what else did things today. Nothing too much. I mean, most of the stuff my watch list is flat. Amazon had the split. Had a nice little morning yesterday. Kind of sold off since then. Got a little bit of a shooting star candle over here. My watch is pretty quiet today. Apple was up 2%. Bullish engulfing candle. Got this big level over here at 150. It's close to testing that. It doesn't even look like it's filled. Let's see if it filled this gap. Yeah, actually did it perfectly fill this gap over here, and now maybe it has this gap at 150, which is what we were just talking about. So not seeing much movement. I'm looking at a lot of different watch lists right now, and just everything was kind of quiet for the most part. This was one name off. It was up 10% today. If you're a premium member, this was sent over the weekend in the watch list. That was a nice move. This was up 8% today. This was another name sent over the weekend in the watch list. This is testing a breakout. SE, another name off the watch list, up 6% today. So a few names here and there, but nothing. So that's pretty much my breakdown for the market today. You might be saying I forgot the VIX, so we can look at that. And the VIX is actually giving up a very key level. So yeah, it's giving up. It's going on to the 1 hour, the 25, 24-ish area. What was this chart here? So this is the key level that we've been talking about. Got highs over here and then these lows over here. And I said yesterday, or no, not yesterday, I wasn't live, Sunday, that you'd be testing this level, and it looks like you're breaking down. So if this holds under that level, that could set you up for the breakout over 417 on the S&P 500. So keep a very close eye on that, and that's the VIX. All right, so make sure to hit the like button if you don't already. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. And yeah, any take requests, let me know in the chat and we'll take a look. Also never did a roll call today, so let's see who showed up. Danny, IMEI Repair, Plebere, Zeke, JG, Mr. Robinson, AK, Zeke, Medi, Canny, sorry if I mispronounced that, B. Johnson, D, Dave Jazz, Levi, Plebere, I don't know if I said that twice, but thank you all showing up live. Yeah. JG dropping the dab emojis. Chat. All right, so first off, BTG, bullish engulfing today. Kind of got this like larger term up. I wouldn't even call it a bear flag. I'd say it's too large for a bear flag, but you just got this longer term upsloping channel. You are in an uptrend midterm, making these higher lows and higher highs, which is good. Look where this all started. It looks like I charted this a while ago. But I mean, this is just like, you can't even make this stuff up. But beautiful bullish Gartley playing out. And if you want to go more short term, if this level at 407 breaks down, you've got a gap fill at like 1 cent lower at 406. So it's really not been moving that much. Wow. It looks like these are crazy moves, but it's like only a few percent. You do have some classic bearish divergence nearly confirmed on the MACD though. Higher high on price, lower high on your MACD. So it just looks like I can't even talk. It looks like it's in consolidation. You've got some resistance at 431 and then maybe some support around 395-ish. So that's BTG, RDBX, up big so far this week. Looks like 925-ish is level from these lows and this high kind of. Got like almost $11. I'll just try out all the levels. If you want to take a screenshot, go for it. At that all-time high. Those are like all your levels of resistance. In terms of support, you probably see the most amount of support if it were to start pulling back in this area. It was your high over here, you consolidated over here, highs over here, just like $7 range pretty much, which you were able to break above today. You get a MACD crossover as well. So RDBX, NVAX is just in this range between $41.50, $63. It's closer to the bottom of the range. If it breaks up, you got 66 and then 85 as resistance. If it breaks down, well, you've got a gap fill all around 25, but you've got a couple levels before that. 41 is literally pretty much the bottom of your range. 6-ish. Bitcoin, 5 minute. Not too sure what's going on there. We can take. Whoa, that's actually pretty interesting. Looks like a 3% drop and then V-shaped recovery, and then now it's just kind of back to where it was. I'm not sure if there was news or something. All right. So yeah, any other tech requests, drop them in the chat. Let me know. Do check out the Discord. Description is when that. Follow me on Twitter at Champion5. Hit the like button. Let's get 20 likes right now. We need one more like to hit that resistance. I don't know. Video. Just like the market's in consolidation mode. So nice breakout down over here. Got a few nice days, and then you just kind of started going sideways. So you're just in a range 181, 97, 196. Other levels are charted. That's really it. The ROS. IMEI Repair says no SPY or QQQ calls or puts there. Are you waiting for the breakout? Actually lost money today. Doing so. Trading, day trading the S&P. So we're gonna look at the ROS right next. But I didn't alert anything, and the only thing I alerted was the Fisker calls. But actually, so the S&P, we never really broke down the intraday price action, but the S&P pretty much gapped down over here. And I started getting into puts probably in this area. I was entering puts, and yeah, it was around over here I was entering puts. We were retesting this level, so I was entering puts based off that. I saw that there was some previous support that could have flipped into resistance, and it did. And I was feeling on top of the world over here. It looked like it had finally rejected that. You were selling off again. It was kind of like an intraday bear flag. We're breaking the VWAP, and then just went into autopilot mode out of nowhere. I think I stopped out around over here, Stock did help because eventually in the day it went all the way up over here to the top of the range. And in the Discord, I pinged you all probably around over here that there was this inverse head and shoulders formation, and that if it broke above this neckline, you could see the top of the range. It did end up getting that move. So this was the message. The intraday level, an inverse head and shoulders breakout could take you to the top of the range. You were over here, and then you did break out, and then you went up to the top of the range. So very textbook stuff there. But yeah, I'm done alerting 0 BTE options on the S&P and QQQ until they break out their consolidation ranges. It's just too risky in my opinion at this point. I think that's the first time
for the green day.
I think that's the first time that GIF has ever popped up on stream. I don't know if there's been a super chat since I changed those. So Levi, thank you. I think you're the first person to get that GIF with your tip. Thank you very much for the super chat and all the support. Hope you're doing well. Vibes in the chat. Vibes in the chat for Levi. Thank you very much for the $5. Here we go. W's, vibes. Let me see some more in the chat for Levi. Supporting for a while now. Really appreciate it. And we had to look at BROS as well. Let's go over to higher time frames. This is a very key level. Let's draw this on over here. You have the lows from back over here. It's now testing that level as resistance. You are starting to pull back a little bit. You could also draw a little bit of a demand line. So this is very, like, in my opinion, I'd actually say this is bearish unless it can reclaim like $45 and invalidate that bearishness. It's at resistance. It's kind of like a bear flag. You've got hidden bearish divergence as well. Shooting star candle yesterday. You're probably overbought on lower time frames, or you were overbought on lower time frames at the highs. I mean, you could even look at this as like a wedge. Like, yeah, I would say from a technical standpoint, I have no clue what this company is. So I don't know if you're looking at it fundamentally, but just from a technical standpoint, I'm bearish unless it proves me wrong and gets above 45, 46. So that's just what I have to say. I mean, I hate saying things like that because I know, like, you know, this might be like your action, not even for just like stocks. Like, you might just love Dutch Bros or something. But if a chart is saying something to me, I gotta relay that on the stream. But hey, prove me wrong. So yeah, I don't know if I missed any others. Tattooed Chef.
Quick, get into the front seat, Joe.
4% today. Another one with the bullish engulfing. There's different ways to look at this. All right, you could look at this as a bear flag. You could look at this. Look at that as a bear flag. You could look at it as the first time where you've bounced up and not immediately sold back off in a long time, like over here. Bounced, you went back down. Bounced, you went back down. Here you bounced and you've not went back down immediately. So with a lot of these like structures, it's the first time that, like, let's just go over to the ARKK for a second. It's the first time in a very long time that after getting a nice bounce for the market, especially for mid caps and growth stocks, that you didn't immediately give up those gains. We've held those gains for almost a month after starting to bounce off the bottom. Now the thing with that is, it could be good because it's showing that the bulls can actually hold it up for more than a few more days, or for more than a few days, but also the longer the consolidation, the larger the breakout or the breakdown, okay? So if these do break down, 1 month long bear flags in like an over 1 year bear market for the ARK ETF, a 1 month long bear flag could vastly outperform for bears. So you really have to hope that this is more of a consolidating after a bounce rather than a bear flag after a bounce. They're just very, very big patterns. They're probably the largest like consolidation patterns we've seen in a long time for a lot of these names. And then Pleber is saying, I just like the name of the stock. Okay, it's a pretty cool name. Yeah. So just back to Tattooed Chef. It's back in. It's in this larger wedge. Here are some levels. There's really not too much going on in terms of levels in the short. All right, so those are your levels. The final take request of the night will be Vibe. Let's see how the Vibe Growth Corporation's doing. A little bit of a bounce. Okay, bouncing up the last few days. Nice to see that. All right, so thank you for watching the stream. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Not the ticker request, the timestamps will be out probably in 10-15 minutes. Follow me on Twitter at ChampionVibe or join Discord to be alerted whenever the timestamps are up. They'll be in this channel. They'll look like this. And thank you for watching the stream. Have a good night. Peace out.
Where is the friend when I need him the most? Climb to the top where I try to get close. Counting the seconds, then I look up to you. In both hands a drink while I wait for the cue. Who needs a girl if you a boy on the run? No person of interest, no belt without gun. Shaking the fist to the man in the box. You wanted to scare him, you should have turned the clocks. Nothing special.